A colony of people strives to survive on a planet with a completely frozen surface. However, ice is not the only problem. The movie begins by showing a place with a completely frozen surface, and inside, there are two people running, pleading to open the door. Then, it cuts to a scene in a house where a person is being expelled because they are sick. And in order not to contaminate the colony, the man ends up being killed. A man named Sam, who was nearby working, is dismayed by what he saw because the choice of the man who was killed was not respected, which was to walk in the snow. This is a place where people are afraid of the flu because the last one killed 20 people in less than a week. Those who fall ill go into quarantine, and if they don't get better, they have to make a choice, either to die or take a long walk in the snow. Places like this below the ice used to have many people, but due to a lack of food, most of them died. In this place, seeds are kept safe to be planted on better days. Some people talk about a paradise with such blue skies and birds that fly so far that people lose sight of them, but it's just a story. Sam talks to Briggs about what happened on the surface, and he is pensive about it, but now they have a bigger problem. They are in Colony 7 and can't make contact with Colony 5, which sent out a distress call. The last contact was 7 days ago. So Briggs tells them to make an announcement to gather everyone in the main hall, and in the meantime, Sam is supposed to help Victor with a problem in the laboratory. When he gets there, he sees some rabbits dead from lack of protein, and when rabbits can't breed, it means things are not well. So Sam goes to see what he can do. Briggs confronts Mason for killing Halm, and they end up arguing about what was the right thing to do. Sam goes to his girlfriend Kai and asks her to get food for the rabbits. He looks at the computer and sees that Kai is still searching for climate modification technology, which is somewhere beneath the ice, and that's where Sam thinks it should be. But as soon as someone manages to melt the ice, Kai will find the technology. At the meeting place, a man asks his wife to take a deep breath since she can't cough. Sam appears and sees that the man isn't well, but he says he is. Then Briggs talks about the distress call from Colony 5 and thinks it's best to check what's happening. Mason and some others say they have to look out for themselves, but since Briggs is the leader and these two colonies made a pact to help each other, they will assist. Sam volunteers to go in Dexter's place, and Graydon also says he wants to go, despite having no surface experience. Kai will be in charge until Briggs returns. The woman sneezes, and everyone immediately leaves the area, covering their noses. The woman and her husband are taken to quarantine. Mason suggests they perform a test, but Briggs says to wait, following the procedure. Mason still questions Kai being in charge, claiming she won't be able to make tough decisions. Sam has a nightmare of finding his dead mother and wakes up startled. Afterward, he washes his face, and his girlfriend appears to comfort him. The next morning, the three of them set out on their mission on a planet that has been frozen for many years. Various theories have been created, but the truth is that one day it started snowing, and it never stopped. They walk for quite a while until they come across a climate modification machine, but it hasn't been operational for a long time. They continue walking and reach a bridge that is damaged with many holes, but they need to cross it anyway. At one point, Briggs nearly falls, but they manage to keep going. Shortly after, Graydon alerts them to a body slumped in a car. The man is dead with a gun in his hand, which Briggs collects. Inside the car, there are also two dead people, revealing the grim reality people faced due to the extreme cold. Further along, the three of them come across a helicopter and board it to explore. Briggs communicates with Colony 7 and informs them that they will camp in the helicopter, and their estimated arrival at Colony 5 is scheduled for noon the following day. Cooper reports that Dexter and Elena are getting worse in quarantine. Mason wants to perform a test on both of them, but that goes against the protocol, so Briggs tells Cooper he can use force to stop him. Later, Graydon finds a men's magazine, and Sam teases him, saying they can leave him alone with it if he wants. Sam shares that he was found near this region, with his family hiding in a mine along with other miner families. They dug every day to find a way out, and when supplies ran out, they had to eat the horses and dogs. His father and the other men went to town for help, but they never returned, and the others began to die. Sam tried to save his mother and sister, but they got separated in a storm, and he never saw his family again. After that, he was found by Briggs. The next day, they finally arrive at Colony 5. However, they soon spot blood in the snow, but they can't turn back now. When they look into the hole, they smell smoke, and they can't see the bottom with the flashlight. Briggs starts descending the ladder, and that's when he sees the bottom. Graydon thinks it's best for someone to stay outside and wait, but Sam insists they should stick together, so the three of them go down together. In the last count, there were 50 people, but so far no one has appeared. There is blood all along the way, and the gun is handed to Graydon. They continue forward, still seeing blood, and then they hear a noise resembling someone screaming. but they don't know what it is. The next sound is something hitting metal, indicating someone is alive. They go to the source of the noise, where there's a damaged door. Sam uses a technique to unlock the door, but as soon as they open it, they find no one inside. However, as they walk further ahead, they notice someone on the ground, and when they remove the blanket, the man becomes terrified, begging not to be killed. Then, the man says they have come, and he asks them to close the door. After he calms down, he drinks some water and requests food. Leland recounts what happened. He and his companion set up a steel screen to create an antenna and achieved a very good signal. They received a partial transmission showing a man stating that the weather tower had managed to reverse the freezing process. The transmission was interrupted when the man mentioned only the latitude of his location. Leland's team went in search of the source but couldn't find it, and they ended up being followed on their way back home. He points on the map to where the transmission came from, and then he's told he'll be taken to Colony 7, but he doesn't want to go because he's afraid. Sam says there's no one there, and he found Leland because of the sound, although Leland didn't make any noise. Briggs sends word to Colony 7 that they are heading back, but Graydon can't establish contact. Briggs says that Leland will go with them, and as they prepare to leave, they hear the same sound as before and the same knocking. Leland is the last to leave, so he seizes the opportunity to lock himself in that room, leaving the others behind. On the way, they keep hearing more noises, and finally, they encounter the source and discover it's not just one person, but a group of cannibals. A shocking scene leaves all of them stunned. The man with the knife realizes the intruders, but he is shot and killed. At that moment, other people wake up and also intend to attack. These people seem more like zombies than humans. Sam and the others start running, initiating a chase. Briggs uses dynamite to slow them down a bit. Unfortunately, Graydon is separated from the other two and is brutally attacked by the enemies. When Sam and Briggs arrive, it's already too late. Despite being only the two of them, they manage to overcome the others, and they continue forward. They reach a staircase and climb it rapidly, and after a few shots, Sam runs out of ammunition. He starts climbing the staircase that leads to the surface while Briggs tries to release the other ladder. But as soon as he succeeds, a man appears, and a fight ensues. After an intense exchange of blows, Briggs kills the man with a firearm. Next, he confronts the leader of the cannibals, and also ascends the ladder. Despite having live people down there, they can't help, so Briggs throws dynamite to cause as much damage as possible. Now, their goal is to return to Colony 7, and along the way, they stop at the helicopter again because the temperature is dropping rapidly. Briggs reminds Sam that he was a military captain, but hadn't mentioned these people who lose control and become beasts. During the rescue operation, food was given, but when the food ran out, armed people started taking things from the unarmed, and when there was nothing left to take, they decided who would live. Briggs's squad tried to stop it, but couldn't. He and Mason were from the same squad and fled, trying to find a safe place for that not to happen again. The next day, Sam sees that they are being followed thanks to footprints in the snow, and now the colony is in danger. Their hope is to hold the people at the bridge. Briggs is the first to jump over the gap and succeeds. Then it's Sam's turn. The enemies are getting close. Briggs leaves a lit stick of dynamite and rushes to take cover, but unfortunately, the fuse goes out. He tells Sam he'll relight it, and it takes force for Sam to let him go. Briggs retrieves the dynamite, but the wind is causing problems. During this time, 2 people fall from the bridge. He stays behind to stop some of them, and in a heroic act, he sacrifices himself to save Sam, thus destroying the bridge. Now the leader of the cannibals can only watch as Sam continues his exhausting journey. Meanwhile, back at the colony, Mason declares that there will be no more tests and kills Elena. Shortly after, Kai, armed, appears and asks what's going on. Mason then says that things are going to change. Sam arrives at the colony seeking help, and his girlfriend rushes to his aid, while Dexter takes the opportunity to escape. Kai reaches Sam, who is unconscious, and the same fate befalls her when caught off guard. Sam wakes up inside the colony after being unconscious for several hours, and he delivers the news of Graydon and Briggs's deaths. Mason appears and handcuffs Sam, stating that the rules will change. Sam inquires about Kai, but there's no answer. He mentions that the cannibals are on their way and that he knows where the thawing machine is located. However, Mason insists that Sam is in shock and orders sedation. Once everyone leaves, a boy hands over the key to the handcuffs. Mason and Victor go upstairs to check if the others are coming, but they don't see anyone. Kai is tied up in a separate room, so Sam uses a pocket knife to free his girlfriend. Victor and Mason examine the monitors, and since they still don't see anyone, Mason dismisses it as nonsense. A man approaches him and informs him that Sam escaped, leading Mason to grow suspicious of the boy. Sam uses the satellite to search for the thawing area and manages to locate it quickly. Kai says it's an area of about 7 miles of blue sky. Next, Sam goes to the storage room to gather some supplies. They need to warn the others and get out of there, but they are surrounded by Mason and his men. They argue about leaving the colony. At that moment, they hear 2 knocks, and upon checking the monitors, they see the cannibals trying to enter. Dexter is the first to be killed, and now Mason believes Sam and instructs them to stop these things. Those who don't know how to shoot are told to hide in the vault. They prepare to defend themselves, but unfortunately the power is cut off, and then a door opens, and they hear noises all around. A cannibal enters through the ventilation system and manages to bring down Reynolds, but the others escape and lock the door. However, elsewhere, a woman is not as lucky. Terror has gripped the colony. Another cannibal enters through the ventilation and stabs Mason, who shoots and kills the man. Then several cannibals start to enter, and the situation changes dramatically. Since the colony residents are armed, they manage to contain the enemy attack. The problem arises when the leader appears. He throws a spear and kills one of Sam's companions. Victor, who is determined to fight, stays behind and battles the leader, while the others attempt to reach the main wing. Victor does what he can, but ends up being killed. Mason runs out of ammunition and enters a room with some people, and in a selfish act, he locks the door, leaving Sam and Kai outside. The others with him disagree with this and fight back, allowing the couple to enter the room and kill the man who pursued them. Subsequently, the door is locked again. Sam and Kai discover what Mason did. Now they need to get out of there, as they are in danger. Sam rips open the ventilation door and tells the others to go. The only one left behind is Mason, who is given a weapon by Sam, and even points it at him, but doesn't shoot. Sam leaves, and Mason sees a gas canister nearby. As soon as the cannibals enter, he shoots, causing an explosion that engulfs the place, but the leader escapes into the ventilation. Sam encounters the leader, and they start to fight. They fall into an area filled with cages, and Sam is taking a beating from him. After enduring several punches, it appears to be the end for Sam, but as he's being dragged, he grabs a knife and strikes the leader. He then seizes a metal bar and proceeds to beat the man to death. The others reach the surface while Sam tries to find a way out. However, the path is blocked by fire. Moments later, he exits through the same place as his companions. With not much else to do, they decide they will keep walking. Carrying something Sam picked up, they will have a better chance. With that, they embark on a new challenge. Only one rule remains for them: survive, and that's how the movie ends.